Hello, this is Alan from Ask Alan About Low Carb Cocktails. I ran across another double oaked bourbon that I wanted to add since I'd just done a series of other double oakeds. But this one is also peerless. I'd done a peerless rye, and now I'm going to do the peerless bourbon. Stay with me as we try this one out and try it in an innovative cocktail. Hello and welcome back to Ask Alan About Low Carb Cocktails. Today I'm wearing the shirt from the Bourbon Club that I'm in. This is the 319 Bourbon Club. This is something that I recently got involved with, and it's kind of fun. Once a month or so we get together and do a bottle share and do barrel picks periodically. I've been around for the one that was the Pursuit barrel pick that I did in an earlier video, but this group is pretty good, and I really enjoy being in it. The other thing I wanted to say as we get started, I usually wait till the end, but I'm going to say it now. Hopefully I can get some people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The numbers are not that high. I'm just below 100 right now, and I'd like to see it go over 100 if possible. So go ahead and subscribe and tell your friends about this, and like and share and do all those things as well. So again, I didn't have this when I recorded the other episodes of the double oaked bourbons and whiskeys, but this is one that I had found afterwards, and it's not as expensive as the rye, but it's in the it's less than 100, but it's in the mid range of cost. So this is one that is supposed to be pretty good. So I wanted to try that, and hopefully it's as good as the rye, because the rye was really good. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that before we get into a cocktail. And again, this is the Peerless Double Oaked Bourbon, and that is 54.6 ABV, 100.4 proof, and let's see what we have as we check this out. You definitely get that oak influence, maybe some chocolate. Some cinnamon, perhaps some other spices like some chives. Again, the oak is present there. A little bit of maybe some cherry. Let's see what it is like on the palate. Yeah, I definitely get some good taste off of that. There's kind of a brown sugar taste to that. Maybe a little bit of toffee. Chocolate's coming through, a cinnamon taste a little bit. Bit of mint. Not heavy, but a little bit. Maybe some allspice. The oak tannins are coming through. A little bit of vanilla. And overall, I do get kind of a graham cracker taste. A little bit of cherry back note. So that's on the taste. Now, finish. It's not overly long, but relatively stays with you. I can still feel the bourbon in the back of the throat. There's some leathery notes. The oak is there, a little caramel. Maybe a kind of a chocolate-covered orange taste a little bit. But that's kind of as you after you had your taste, and what you start to get as you breathe in and out. So what I'm going to do now is, I thought that a good one to make with this would be a double oaked s'mores old fashioned. I've been sticking with old fashioned type drinks with these because I wanted to not cover up the taste of the bourbons and ryes, but to get something that will let those bourbons and ryes shine through in the end drink. So I start with an old fashioned or a cocktail glass that's I crushed up about a quarter of a graham cracker, and I used less than half of it. So a quarter of a graham cracker has got only like 3 carbs, I think, and so the amount that's on there is maybe a carb or 2. And to keep that on there, I used some regular chocolate syrup. Now this has got a lot of carbs, 24 carbs in only 2 tablespoons, but the amount that's on there is pretty small. So between those two, you probably get maybe 5 carbs if you end up licking the rim and getting all that. So that's basically the carbs in this. And let me go ahead and make that. I'll have to break for a second. I forgot to bring over the measuring thing, but just give me a moment. So again, I use this OXO measuring cup. It's only a 2-ounce measure, and this seems to work really well to get accurate measurements for cocktails. So we'll go ahead with what was left here. The amount in that is only 1.5 ounces. So those less than what I had in the tasting glass. So before I get too far, the instructions will show you how to make a light brown sugar simple syrup. I'd had a brown sugar simple syrup that I made with some sugar substitute. This ends up getting crystallized, and so every time I use it, I have to set it in boiling water to melt the brown sugars that was in there, or the artificial brown sugar. And the only difference between what I'd made before and what is in this recipe is, for a cup of water and a cup of brown sugar, it calls for I think a drop, if I remember correctly, a drop of vanilla. So when I heated this up, I put just a smidgen, just a small amount of vanilla extract in this to make it closer to what they have there. Otherwise, I would often just use this. I haven't opened this one yet, but it's a brown sugar cinnamon syrup that is 0 carbs. These are great if you want low carbs because you get the taste, but you don't get the carbs. And usually they use cinnamon in a lot of these to amp up the sweetness, because cinnamon does cause a little bit more sweetness in your whatever you're putting it in. So back to making the drink. I already had the glass prepared with the large ice cube in that, and 1.5 ounces of double oaked bourbon, 1 ounce of the brown sugar simple syrup, and again, I made that with a sugar substitute, so there would be no carbs. But if you want to make that with regular sugars, a lot of you don't need to do low carb, so go ahead. Then 2 dashes of, and I have a Fee Brothers, which is a lower cost, may not be the best brand, but it is a lower cost for bitters. But this is their Aztec chocolate. So I'd forgotten to silence the grandfather clock, so it was just making noise. So the part that I'll back up over is the part where I added the 2 dashes of chocolate bitters. You stir that, and I already have the rimmed glass. And then it calls for, and all I had was miniature marshmallows, it calls for a marshmallow for a garnish. So we'll just put the marshmallow on there. Actually, I'm going to push that down and stick that in. And there we have the Double Oaked S'mores Old Fashioned. That's quite good. Now, the way I made it, there's no carbs in the actual drink. There's maybe a couple carbs, maybe 5 at the most in what you got with the stuff on the rim. And I'm not going to eat the marshmallows. They're just there for decoration. So I'm not going to count those, but probably those might be another couple carbs if you eat them. So know what you're having, know what you're getting, so you know what you have to do for any carbs that you get, if you need to know that. But if not, then this is a really good drink. Try any of the double oaked bourbons in this. I think that it's better with a bourbon than rye. But this is a very good drink. I think that it's something that you'll enjoy. So again, check out the recipe in the description as well as the other information. Go ahead and get a bottle of this if you're able to. If you find it on the shelves, it's pretty good. The rye is actually a little bit better, but this is actually really good as well. So for double oaks, this one comes out pretty good. A little higher price than the lower end stuff that I'd done before, but this is probably worth, I think, worth about what you pay for it, as long as you're not being gouged by somebody. So I recommend getting that. And definitely, as I mentioned earlier, like and subscribe and share, and do all those great things, help to build this community so that more people can know how to make some great cocktails, as well as how to keep the sugars down and know what spirits taste the best. I try to do that each week, is to give you a different type of spirit and let you know what the tastes are and show you a cocktail. And hopefully you enjoy that. So come back again, and next week I have a rum that I'm going to show you that I've done before, but there's a new version of it that's out there and something I think you might enjoy. So have a great week, and God bless.